this is experimental biogas. I have a dream of doing a public restroom at a beach that has, like, I don't know, the eternal flame burning, where you can go like spread the word of fire around, or have a cook stove. You can heat up your beans so that you can continue the cycle. So we wanted to have fun too, and Aubrey's a great artist. If nobody's seen her art adorning the walls of the Sojourner or the brew house. So we wanted to connect the kids in that way too, connect people, because art's the universal language, just like love, right? And also, let's spread environmental awareness through art. Let's create art projects that are, murals that depict environmental subjects, and it actually could be instructions for living sustainably. Like the compost toilet mural, I can see it now. Who wants to be the model? And say, yeah, you get the idea. Paper making, banana paper, banana leaves is a huge source for paper. And banana fiber was used for the ropes in World War I or something. I can't remember. I can't remember. There's some. But I met some guy who's been making paper out of all sorts of stuff, coffee, waste, and coconut, and banana. So I'd really like to go take the banana leaves and blend them up and try to do some paper making down there. And then natural building is pretty much came from third world countries. And all we have to do is tell them, no, cement is bad. Forget everything that everybody else told you. Stick with what you had. It was good. And you can see Adobe came from Mexico and those places. So, well, for anybody who doesn't know, back up, natural building is building with natural materials. Not the same as green building, which is taking a traditional structure and adding a solar panel on it is green building. But natural building is from the ground up. It's used local resources. It's what's laying around, what can I reach? What can I get within 50 meters in every direction, or maybe a half a day's walk? That's what we're going to build with, right? It's not, oh, let's bring steel girders from China and let's... There's inspiration in action. These kids never had any art training, believe it or not. Amazing how talented they are. So, getting back to Surfers Without Borders, like I said, one of our goals is to create a network throughout the surfing community, the global surfing community. It's really, surfers travel a lot, and we're kind of, like you said, we're hedonists, we go all over the world searching for that perfect wave, and so a lot of surfers know a lot of corners of the globe, and if you travel a lot as a surfer, you'll meet other surfers who've been all over the place. So it's kind of like those threads that connect the whole globe. And these are a couple of organizations, if nobody's heard of them. Surf Aid they're really promoting permaculture in Indonesia. After the tsunamis, they had millions of people that had no houses. It's just like nothing I wasn't there from what I heard, and nothing we could ever imagine. Nothing we've ever experienced or our parents have ever experienced was like complete disaster. Nothing. So they're teaching permaculture down there, and it's a really opportunity. It's a really good example of how the problem is the solution. It's an opportunity to rebuild in a new way, rebuild in a sustainable way. It's like a clean slate. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for with this economic collapse. It's like, okay, let's just throw out the old system, and let's start a whole new one instead of trying to fix a broken wheel. It's like it's always going to have that lump in it if you're driving. So, and we didn't put Heal the Ocean on here, which is obviously a really big local organization working on specifically Rincon Sewer and all sorts of other, they work in a political atmosphere and do a lot of research to try to prove that there's ocean pollution. To the politicians, I think we should just take them down to the beach on a rainy day. Project Blue by Surfrider, they're starting this whole new organization that's using the industry, like surf companies, clothing manufacturers, like Billabong and all these other companies are coming together, and they're realizing they need to put some of their money where their where their bodies go in the ocean, you know, and get tax write-offs too, because a lot of those are nonprofit organizations. So, yeah, some of our future projects, we're going to create the Soil Not Sewage Action Campaign and get everybody to realize that compost toilets really are a viable solution, really a viable option for us. If we have, I can see it now at the beach, you know, you've got a toilet, public toilet. It would be the same amount of maintenance for a guy to go down, clean the public toilets than it would be for him to make sure the composting toilet is working right. Same amount of maintenance, probably even less because there would be no construction costs. It would actually be a lot cheaper. We reduce reliance on huge infrastructure like sewage treatment plants. It costs a lot of money. A lot of these toilets in remote locations are septics. The problem with septics is that it's 8 feet below the surface. There's nothing down there. There's no worms. There's nothing that's going to eat it. No biological activity taking place. It's anaerobic. It's putrefying. It's basically creating methane up the wazoo. And if you could tap that, that's one option for septic. Let's make septic tanks these home biogas generators. I think every home could turn their septic tank into a biogas plant. And if we're not going to do biogas, let's compost it. Let's do composting, worm toilets, or ecological sanitation. There's all sorts of pit toilets and other methods that are suitable for different locations. And then another goal of ours is to have many demonstration sites, surf camps in Central America, and ranches here in California that are demonstrating permaculture and creating this network up and down the coast, online virtual network where people could share ideas and share resources with regards to permitting and all this other crap that we have to deal with. So these are some of our goals in the future. And also, if anybody else has any ideas, you know, throw it out there, because the idea with this is a network. You know, we're just kind of trying to get the ball rolling here. Everybody's ideas are needed. We're in it together because it's one ocean, one planet. So that's the first little bit I have. I guess I could answer a few questions now. You want
I was reading today in the bacteria on one of their little, recycling compost little brochures that they have on the tables, and it says that methane's 23 times more. I don't know whether it's like heating the atmosphere more like that, or so. How is switching to methane gonna be better?
Well, we would be trapping methane that's already being produced.
Yeah.
We would be using methane. The cow there's blaming global warming on cows because they produce a lot of methane.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a load of crap, but it really is a load of crap because that's what methane is. But we could harvest that and keep it out of the atmosphere with complete combustion. You can go online and look at the Bates chicken car. This guy did it back in the 60s. He ran his car on chicken and pig poop. And he never had to change his spark plugs because it's complete combustion. It's 100 or 1,000 octane, whatever you want to say. There's no residue. There's no carbon left over. Mm-hmm. So I think it turns to more methane and water. I would actually have to look at the chemical reaction, but it's pretty clean burning, let's put it that way. So yeah, we would take methane out of the atmosphere that's already going there. Your perfect example of how it's an opportunity to solve another unknown big benefit is that we would take methane out of the atmosphere and reduce global warming.